And good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. This is Pastor Sherman, and this is This Week in Prophecy. Hope everybody's doing really well and that you had a great weekend in the Lord. It's been fun. I mean, here in Vegas, folks, it is hot. I got to tell you right now, it's almost become Africa hot. We have a spring that lasts all of like a day. I think our spring lasts, a day and a half maybe at the most, but not much more than that. And then it's really bad. It gets warm. We had a little bit of a reprieve today, but I'm hoping that it doesn't go crazy too quick. We're having some issues here, folks, and so I'm gonna let you know right now, hoping that we don't have issues like we've been having over here at the studio. We had a major kind of glitch on our technical stuff, and so I'm going to hope that everything holds together. Right now I'm heading over to our YouTube channel, and looks like everything's going to be good for a little bit. So if you want to get in on the discussion here today, folks, we're live, we're ready, and just, but know that if something happens, we'll do everything we can to get everything back up and running. And if you'd like to get in on the conversation, we're at This Week in Prophecy. This is season 2, episode 20. If you don't want to, folks, just go ahead and write to us at thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. That's thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. Well, let's welcome the co-host of our show, folks, Aaron Newton. And Aaron, how have you been doing, brother?
Hey, man, what's happening? I'm good. Just moving along,
Mm-hmm. Another beautiful day.
Yeah, I mean it's actually, it was a little mild yesterday. It was hot. This weekend was hot. Oof, it was hot. I wouldn't say it was Africa hot, but it was hot.
It was pretty hot. I'll tell you, it was Georgia hot at least. Georgia hot. I'll tell you, it's just. Ooh.
I always hear that Africa hot, but you know what? I thought the hottest place I ever been was the Middle East.
Oh, yes.
It was 130 degrees in the shade with sand blowing in your face. I didn't want to hear it.
That's a little warm. As a matter of fact, I heard President Trump. They were talking about that. They were saying, that it has gotten really hot out there. I think it was Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity is along with on Air Force One, and he says, "Man, it is hot." And those guys wearing suits, So you can imagine being there and you're wearing, this big robe and stuff like that, and a headdress.
You mean like BDUs and a plate vest and yeah, I can imagine, and a helmet. Yeah, I can imagine it.
No.
Well, so I can imagine it.
I like the polo shirt. You've got the little shark on it. I'm good. It's what they call it, wicking. It wicks sweat. Mm-hmm. So I'm good with that. So how was Mother's Day for you? I didn't even ask you. I mean, I know you're not a mom, but how was Mother's Day for you and the lovely Cecilia?
Oh, it was good. We spent it at the Henderson Art Fair. Cecilia makes these trees. She has a little art business. So it was about a year ago, I think, that she got this booth, almost, a little less than a year. And so she's been waiting this whole time, for months now. She's been like, "Don't forget to take the 5th off. Don't forget to take." I'm like, "Cecilia, I already took it off." "Okay, did you take it off?" Like, yes. You gotta be just be ready. So yes. We went there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool.
And it was hot. It was hot.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you. So your wife makes trees. So we'll give her a plug right now, because give her a plug for what's the name of her business?
It's New Luminous. And so basically, during COVID, we were both home. She's a teacher, and she, was here in this office actually working. And I lost my job, and so I was at home for about 8 months. And right before COVID started, she made one, like a fake tree, and put it out front. She's like, we never have anything nice here. It's the desert. You can't get anything beautiful to grow. So she made one. And, it was it was like the first one. And so she made another one, and it was like this big cherry blossom tree. And after she put it in the front yard, and then all of a sudden I hear like my alarm going off, not, alarm, but like saying there's somebody in the driveway, because it was on the front there. And what happened was all the people that live around us were taking pictures in front of the tree, like they just loved it. And so she's like, we should do this. And so I've made, we ship them all over the world. I've
Mm-hmm.
made a special one for a place in London. I made one for this lady that it was an arch. It went kind of like this, and then she hung a swing. I had to hang a swing from it so she could put her birthday cake on it. Uh, made
Okay.
just recently shipped one out to a Mercedes dealership in Germany. Yeah, all over the world. And a lot here in the States too. But
Yeah.
so we
Well,
started that then, and
mm-hmm.
sometimes it's like go go go, and sometimes
Well,
it's just quiet.
just kind of quiet. But that's the way business is. Business tends to be up down, which is great, and so very excited about that. And so new luminous, and so
Yeah,
so folks, if you are looking for a tree, and they're pretty spectacular. So these are artificial trees, can be like all kinds of blossoms, that kind of stuff, which is very interesting. So just go ahead and write to it. New luminous. So what's the? Give her a plug. So new luminous. What?
I got it right here.
You
Actually, I
got
just so happen to have one of her cards
just
right here.
just so
It's
happened.
newluminouspath.com, and
New
it's spelled,
luminous
new
path.
LUMINESS path.com. And so it's
Very cool.
yeah, it's really, it floated us during, it floated me anyways during COVID. I made enough money to pay for everything. Just really God taking care of us. So
Yeah. Well, very very cool. Hey, let's talk about what's going on in the what's going on right now. I'd love to start off with probably one of the biggest things that's going on right now, and we've got a young man, an Israeli, who is from Jersey, and his name is Eden. What is Eden's last name? I was just looking at this. Um, Eden Alexander. This is an AP story, and many probably people have heard about this already. That Eden was part of the Israeli Defense Forces. Now he's living in Jersey. He's born in New Jersey, but he went to live in Israel.
mm-hmm.
Became a dual citizen and became a member of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. Was taken captive, literally almost 19 months ago, something like that. He was the last surviving or live, verifiable live hostage by Hamas, and he was released yesterday. And once again, this is a story that was just released yesterday. Hamas on Monday released Israeli American soldier had been held hostage in Gaza for 19 months, offering a goodwill gesture towards the Trump administration that could lay the groundwork for a new ceasefire with Israel. Once again, his name is Eden, or Edan, Edan
Mm-hmm.
Alexander. His first hostage released since Israel shattered an 8-week ceasefire with Hamas. And so, very interesting. Our prayers go out to this guy's family, the mom, grandma, everybody was just. Now, they showed pictures of the guy as he was coming out. Looked fine. Probably wasn't mentally there. First of all, Aaron, you were in the military. And so, what were you ever prepared? Do you think there's ever a way to be prepared to be taken prisoner by an enemy force? And how do you think this kid survived? Because he looked fine. I mean, he really did. But psychologically, something probably not going to be going on with the guy. So, how do you think this kid is surviving right now?
Yeah, I'm sure he's just excited to be home. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know, because they have a school that you go through, and it's like you learn to um, evade, resist, all these things. But until that really happens, like, how do you know? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure these people weren't like, okay, well, we're gonna go by the Geneva Convention and make sure you can write letters home, and we're gonna feed you 3 times a day, and you get a nice bed. I don't think so. I think
Mm-mm.
towards the end they probably, kind of buffed him up a little bit with food and stuff, because they don't want him to be looking like. Remember that guy that was in the Korean? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that guy looked horrible, and then he
Ooh.
died right after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they beat him and treated him horrible. But
Yeah. Mm.
I'm sure he's gonna have, you know, uh, I don't know. I don't want to wish anything on it. I just want to
No,
say, like, I saw the picture of him with the sign, holding the little thank you and stuff, and
thank
I
you,
was like,
Trump. Yeah,
that's awesome, yeah, and I
yeah.
think that's awesome, but we just need to pray for him because he will, that's probably tough. That's going to be tough on
Got to
anybody.
be tough. Got to be tough. Maybe 21-year-old kid. I mean, my gosh, resilient. Yeah, but he's probably going to go through some stuff. And my second question is basically, Hamas. Early on in this article, it says Hamas is have they wanted to send a goodwill gesture towards the Trump administration, and they think that this is going to help them with a ceasefire with Israel. And so my second question here is basically towards Hamas, because Hamas, many of you know that nearly 2 years ago, Hamas started this war with Israel. They bombed, they killed people, they killed babies, they did all this other stuff, and Hamas uh, did was poking a tiger. They poked a lion, they poked a bear, and all of a sudden now Gaza, it looks like a hellscape. I mean, literally, it
Mm-hmm.
is just destroyed, and they think that Israel is going to stop. But Israel has vowed that they're not going to let Hamas continue as the government for Gaza. Do you think that Israel is going to? Do you think this is going to help them? I guess would be the question. Do you think it's going to actually help them uh, to get America to speak to Israel and say, "Hey, stop bombing us"?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if it's gonna. It shouldn't help them. They've
Mm-hmm.
held that man for how many months? You
19
know,
months.
uh,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. I don't think so. I don't think it should help them. They're just out of options.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're kind of just grasping at straws. Like, well, let's get Trump on our side, but I don't think he's gonna be on their side, and I think he's gonna let them do what they want to do, which is
Yeah.
destroy this evil empire entirely.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this has been. I've talked about this on another show before about Hamas's whole mindset. How another country could believe that their main mission, their main goal, is to destroy the country that they're in. They're going to try to destroy the people who live in the country where they're at, because Gaza is a strip. I mean, it's just a strip of land, and instead of trying to live with the Israelis and live next to them, they're hell bent on trying to destroy them at
Mm-hmm.
every turn. Um, this goes back to what they were talking about in the book of Genesis, and they were talking about these. Oh, I think we did. Oh, there you go. That we had a. Oh, Aaron, are you still there? I want to make sure you're still there. Oh, it looks like Aaron. We're losing Aaron at some point there. It looks like we're kind of fading in and out. We're gonna make sure we get Aaron back here, but I think what this goes to, it goes to a story about what happened in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, it talks about that you're going to have this turmoil between the children of Ishmael, and you're going to have a trouble with the children of Isaac. You're going to have great nations that are going to be raised between them, but there's going to be a problem there, and that's what we see right now. Is you see the people who are now the Philistines, living in the Middle East, right next to Israel, and they're trying to say, hey, guess what? We're going to try to try to make things as bad as we can with the Israelis, and I just don't think it's going to work out this way. I'm going to send a note to Aaron because I don't know if he realizes how bad that, and we're going to try to get him back as quickly as we can, and we'll see if we can. We'll try. I'm going to send him a note now. Okay, we'll to reconnect. So I'm going to see if I can get Aaron back as quickly as I possibly can. I'm going to be listening in the control room. Maybe they can help get him back online. And all right, yeah, that's it. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get you back here, Aaron, because I can see you over there. I'm gonna see if you're actually back online yet, because it doesn't look like you're back online yet. But let me let me do something here. I'm going to try to work some magic here, and we'll see if we can get you back in here, okay? Hang on 1 second there, brother. All right, let's see. See if we can get you back on there. And the magic of... Okay, I think we got you back there, Aaron. Let's see if we can get you back in. Okay. Aaron, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I got you back. All right. Woohoo! The
Okay.
magic of we've got the magic of technology that we got him back, folks. And this has been happening. This has been kind of a weird thing that's been going on. I was discussing, and I was just kind of telling the folks here that the Old Testament and Book of Genesis is talking about Ishmael and it's talking about Isaac, you know, and that you're going to have a problem. There's going to be a problem between Ishmaelites who become Philistines and the kids of Isaac who become the Hebrews. That you're going to have a problem with these people, and that's what we see today. Do you think that there will ever be any kind of peace in the Middle East?
You know what? I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's not so much of a land dispute. Of course, they say it's their land, but it wasn't their land first, and
Mm-hmm.
then they had it, and then the Jews came back. So but it's an ideological thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
when it comes to stuff like that, people just don't give up on their ideological views of, especially God. It's a
Yeah.
religious thing, just like the Crusades and all these other
Mm-hmm.
things that happen. Um, Now, I mean, I try to think about what were they thinking? Like, we're gonna go in and just bite them on the ankle and then run back home,
Yeah.
And they thought like what did they think that was gonna accomplish? I have
Mm-hmm.
no clue what they thought that was going to accomplish.
Yeah.
That they thought like all the rest of the Muslim world was gonna, yeah, let's get them because they're Gaza. I don't know. I have no clue what in their mind they were thinking, but
Yeah.
apparently they thought that God was behind them and God was gonna, they were gonna be the David and Goliath. They were the David and the big nasty Jews was Goliath, and we're gonna watch what happens. But it's total opposite. So
Yeah.
obviously, this is something that should tell you something. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. That and I don't know. It just drives me crazy. The president is now in Saudi Arabia, and he's going to be making a whirlwind tour around the Middle East, talking to all these world leaders and stuff like that. And one of the things that we've been doing is we've been praying for him. We've been saying, "Hey, Lord, give him influence, give him favor while he's there, safety, especially safety." The last time the president did something like this, he got the Abraham Accords signed, and he got he got uh, the uh, the capital of Jerusalem identified as the place where we're going to put our embassy at, that kind of stuff. And Iran did everything they could to try to ruin all of that. They did everything they could to say, "Hey, we're not going to allow anything like this going to happen." Um, and uh, and so this go around right now, the president knows that he's going to have this issue. So he's already talking to the Arab states folks. He's already talking to them, saying, "Hey guys, we all agree," or he's trying to get a feel of what they believe about Iran, that they are the state sponsor of terror. The the prince who's in Iraq, Arab right now, he's just a business guy. He wants to try to create money, wealth, power for his country. Wants America to protect them. They all agree at this point. Iran is the biggest issue that we've got in the Middle East, the biggest barrier to peace. Um, can you? What are your thoughts about what the president is doing in the Middle East, talking to these world leaders? What do you think? If you were a fly on the wall, can you imagine what President Trump is trying to do, trying to speak to into the ear of these Gulf states with respect to Iran?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get in line with us, we're not gonna buy any oil from you
Mm-hmm.
because we have it all ourselves.
Yeah.
Now this is their export: Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, all these countries have oil, and we buy most of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But can you imagine him just saying, "Look, we're not going to do any business with you. Tariff, tariff. But you need to get in line with these people." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I see that. I don't know. That's just what I see. Like, just from
Mm-hmm.
experience of watching him making deals with other people. If you
Yeah.
don't condemn this state terror, we're going to make it hard on you economically. You know,
Yeah.
especially with
Mm-hmm.
the oil. That's their biggest export is oil. I mean, Iraq, everywhere. It's all oil. We don't need it anymore because we have it ourselves. We just gotta get these whatever the Bidens did to stop drilling in our own nation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I see that. That's what I see. I mean, I don't really know what he's
Yeah.
saying or how he's getting them to get in line, but I know that they're afraid of him.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, maybe not fit like but they're afraid of what he could do to them, and it's going to hurt their pocket.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Let's hurt your pocketbook,
Yep.
and then watch how great a king you are.
I bet you. You know, you mentioned something that I that did not even occur to me, but they probably saw what just happened to China, and they went,
Mm-hmm.
"Did you guys just see what happened to China? We don't want it here. We're good. We're good. We're not going to go with that. We're not because we don't buy anything other than oil, right? I mean, and oil prices are down, which is great, but they sell a lot of it to us, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
they don't want to see what happened to them, what just happened to China. Speaking of China, though, China has been China came to the table. They were pretty bully. They were kind of, hey, we're gonna remember the way they said like about a week ago. They're going, we're gonna fight you to the end. We're never giving up. We're China. And then all of a sudden, reality hit them right in the face, or did it hit them in the pocket?
yeah.
Right?
Pocket. It was the pocket. That's what makes people crumble. Don't worry about it. We don't need all your junk. And then all of a sudden, like, well, okay, let's make a deal. Their economy is a lot of farce. The
Yes.
Chinese, the yuan, is like I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, where you see
Mm.
these beautiful cities and all these places in China, but nobody lives in them. It's a farce.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Pyongyang, geez, the North Korean capital. They have these shopping malls and all this stuff, but you can't buy anything. Don't touch it.
Can't
It's
buy
just
anything.
that's it because it's a farce. And
Yeah.
once he said, well, they thought the people. He thought I don't understand. I think these countries and these things that are doing bad things to us, they think we're gonna rise up with them.
Yeah.
Like you're hurting us, and we're gonna rise with you, and yeah, whatever you say, we're gonna do. But they realized after a couple of days, like, wow, we're way
This
overextended.
We're way overextended. Yeah. I think when they started
Yeah,
seeing all of their cargo ships sitting in the Pacific Ocean and sitting, and then a week goes by, they're still sitting there, and we're not offloading those things. We don't want that stuff. Turn it around. And they started going, wait a minute, turn it around? What do you mean? I thought you guys were full. I think what they thought, and this is what I think other world leaders think, is they're going, you know what? Americans are too greedy, and they don't realize what they've really got. We're
mm-hmm.
stupid, and because the Iranians, this is something I heard many years ago. They're saying that they're going to use the liberals in our country, and the laws in America against Americans,
Mm-hmm.
because we have the ACLU that will fight for anybody who's non-Christian, who's non-moral, who's non-conservative. They'll fight for anybody's right to do anything. And the folks in Iran, ISIS, all those guys know that, so they can come over here with impunity because they know that some liberal is going to fight for them to stay here. Okay, China probably thought that's exactly what's going to happen. Oh yeah, they're gonna put a tariff on, and then they're gonna have all these people jumping out of ships and everything else, and they're gonna let us in. But that didn't happen. What the reverse happened is what happened, right? We actually
Yeah.
galvanized, right?
So you got to. I think about it like this, right? The Bible says that what the enemy planned for bad, God will turn to good. So they thought that we were gonna just rise up and like, no, we want our fake plastic from China. We need
I
these
want.
things, and how dare you cut us off? But you know what happened? We went through 4 years of pain, and then
Mm-hmm.
Trump said, just give it a little bit, and I'm gonna fix everything. Okay, no
Yes.
problem. Another 6 months of pain, no problem. And Americans are way more resilient than they thought. They thought we were just gonna buckle because that's how they treat their people.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
the freedoms we have here, we decided, you know what, we will go through it and we'll
Yeah.
let it happen. And so, you know, that it's just such a different control mindset and
Yes.
freedom mindset. The
Yeah.
control mindset says we're gonna do this and you're gonna like it, and then the other one just says, you know, just do you do it? We'll do it. We'll do it.
Yeah. I like that. But that's a great thing, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
we finally get our house in order. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I do know this right now is that if America just continues on this road, if we continue on this path, I think we've got some great things ahead of us. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Um, there was a story, Aaron, is that the President Trump over the weekend signed a historic legislation, um, and he's talking about reducing drugs, the price on drugs. And I never realized. I mean, I knew that we were paying a lot of money for drugs, but I did not realize we were paying this much for drugs. That we're paying 10 times more. You know, 75% more than the rest of the world. And so this is a monumental thing that has happened. And what are your thoughts about the reduced drug prices?
Well, I'll say this when I retired from the army, and they were like, well, you know, there's really nothing, you know, we know you got hurt and stuff. Well, there's really nothing we can do for you, but we'll make you comfortable. So they gave me all these pills, right? Take this
Mm-hmm.
one and this one and this one, and then, you know, take this 3 times a day. And I took them for a long time. But then one day it was like, I think the pills are making it worse. I think these
Mm.
meds. So I stopped taking everything. And I went to my doctor and I'm like, yeah, not doing this anymore. And she's like,
Oh,
wait, what? You know, like,
yeah.
so I said, I'm not doing it anymore. But then, you know, you think of like England, they have cheap prices. All these other countries have cheap prices, Canada, but they
Mm-hmm.
have a socialized healthcare system too.
Yeah.
Like they don't charge $2,000 for, you know, a bottle of ibuprofen to the insurance companies, but they charge
Yeah.
it to the people that are paying for it out of their pocket, and
Yeah.
that's hard. That's a hard thing. That hurts, you know.
Yeah.
And so, I to me, I think about it like they're ripping us off, you know.
Yeah.
And look at that guy. There was a article or a story it was quite a while ago, but this guy invented this pill that really helped people. I think with diabetes or something,
Mm-hmm.
and he was charging like $2,000 a pill for it, and he went to
Yeah.
jail. Do you remember that? It was a
Went to
while ago.
jail, huh? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. He went to jail for a little while, but I mean, it was like he invented something really good. It didn't cost much to make, but he
Mm-hmm.
was charging $2,000 a pill or something. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
It's quite a while ago.
It's
So
amazing. So
yeah, it's
Aaron,
crazy.
so we're having problems with your video again, and so I'm gonna have what I'm gonna. I mean, your audio is fine. I can hear you great and everything else, but I just can't see you. So
Yeah.
what I'm gonna yeah I'm, what I'm gonna do is we'll wait for you. We'll go ahead and log back off and then come back in, and then I'm gonna see if I can pull you back in again. And I'm gonna keep talking a little bit here,
Okay.
but yeah, go ahead. And while Aaron's doing that, I'll talk a little bit about the drug issue that we're having here in America. And so we found out that just recently that one of the worst things that's happened in America is that we find out the truth. Okay, so and the truth of the matter is that we've been um, basically paying the uh, footing the bill for everybody else in the world. So I know it sounds really weird, but so what we're doing is we're basically paying for and subsidizing everybody else. And so here I'm gonna do something here really quick here, And so we've been subsidizing the rest of the world, um, paying exorbitant prices for drugs and everything else, while the rest of the world is not. And that's the biggest problem that we're going through right now. And so the Trump administration found out about it and said, "Hey guys, we're done. We're done paying footing everybody's bill." And so they said, "We're going to talk to the drug guys and say, hey, we're going to get most favored nation status. We're bringing those prices down." And here, get this, folks. They said 30 to 80% difference in drug prices, which is crazy. I mean, that, can you imagine that? We're paying 80% more than what we should be paying, and it's not as though the drug and we've got Aaron back here, and it's not as though that we're not the drug companies are not making money, because they're making all kinds of money. It's just that they're making it only with us, and that's the crazy part about it. So we've got Aaron back on the show, and once again, Aaron, I was just mentioning to the folks that we are paying so much more for drugs. There was a guy who it was in he was in Britain, and he said he called President Trump on the phone. He said, "Hey, I'm taking the fat shot, taking the fat shot." And he says that in Britain that fat shot is $88, but here in America it's $1,300. That's the difference. $88 to $1,300 is the difference, and that's a big spread for one shot, guys, one dose. So are we asking too much, Aaron? Are we asking too much to bring down the to bring down the price of the fat shot?
You know what? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Also, not the high prices, but to bring it down. Also, I can remember probably the last three elections.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna do everything we can to bring those drug prices down. Who was Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders.
Joe. It did nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing, absolutely nothing whatsoever. Trump's been in 100 days and done all this stuff, and here's just another thing. It's just amazing to me. But with that, I was thinking about that while I was reading that story about the drug prices. Like, how many times did they say we gotta get those drug prices down? The elderly, they're struggling, insulin, blah blah blah. They nothing. They did nothing.
My heart is going out to these politicians.
That
Elizabeth
too,
Warren.
100. There was I'm sorry to cut you off, but I also read in the thing that there's about 100 senators that are getting paid by these big pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, they're really sponsored by them.
What's her name? Elizabeth Warren. Big time. And here's the deal that I think all these guys are doing. They're gonna have to. They're bought. They're bought and paid for. Are they really serving the American public? Is Moderna? Is Lilly? Is Johnson and Johnson? Are any of these companies really benefiting America, or are they just lining their pockets and waiting? Boy, hope nobody finds out about this. Woo-hoo! What a cash cow! You know what they should have for America? It should be a big cow with a bunch of people sucking on the udders of America, just sucking us for everything because these are not going, I'm patriotic, yes, patriotic, because this is not patriotism. As a matter of fact, people should be pretty upset.
Look, we've been talking for what is this, episode 20, I think it is. Mm-hmm. Season 2 episode. We've been talking about how there's going to be a dismantling of stuff, right? Like, we talk about dreams where, like, I think right now that the dream we had spoke about a while ago where the door opened and it said, "Welcome to the new era," Well, we're in that era. We are seeing the fruit of that stuff. We're seeing, like, let's see, the dream where the man was scooping up people and all these people are hiding in basements. The immigrants, they were hiding in basements and behind walls, and the man was just coming around and scooping them up. 200 people yesterday, 400 people the day before that. And these are all criminals. They're not like, I came here on a work visa and I overstayed. No, they're talking about gang members, drug dealers, pimps, and, and oh my goodness, we are seeing that fall right now. And I was thinking about something where we're the one where I was standing on the lake, and I'm seeing the cops bring in people one at a time, one at a time. That's where we're at right now. I'm standing on the lake and I'm watching
Mm.
this party, this island in the middle of Lake Mead, and they thought they were safe out there. They
Yeah.
thought, well, nobody's going to bother us because we're out here, we're safe. But now they're bringing them in one at a time, one at a
One
time.
at a time.
And like, I saw a senator from, I was it Colorado? Oh, geez, I don't remember what
Okay.
state. She just got convicted of corruption charges. I saw, uh, geez, oh, Tulsi Gabbard
Uh-huh.
fired like 200 people from the Department of the Homeland Security, and these were all people who were actively trying to go against the president's orders. So
Yes.
I don't. Did you see that article?
Oh yeah, I sure did. Oh yes. Yeah.
So
And
that was a
that's the crazy thing about it is these people are supposed to be um, now these are career service people, right? Career, which is a misnomer, which means you're like I don't know. I'm trying to find a politically correct way to call them something, but they're
you
living off the
see that.
teat of America, right?
Well, somebody's got to do these jobs. I
Yeah.
don't. I was in the military, and I get my pension, but I also worked for the Department of Defense later. I worked in the shipyard. Somebody has to do these jobs. I get it. But when it's your agenda,
Mm-hmm.
not everything starts from the commander
Yeah.
down, and Congress, right? It
Yeah.
starts there and it goes down. When you're actively trying to work against your boss, there's a
Yeah.
problem, right?
There's a problem.
You take an oath when you join the whatever government job you do. You take oath to support and defend the Constitution, and when you actually go against that, now there's a
Mm-hmm.
problems, right? So
Now there's a
we
problem.
talked about we've talked about treason and stuff in these dreams, and I know it's coming.
I know. I want to apologize. We've been having these difficulties for like the last, I don't know, seems like the last couple of shows where we're just this crazy stuff. But anyways, we're watching these folks who are saying that they are working for the federal government. They are not doing that, folks, and it's just driving you crazy. Um, just within the last couple of minutes we've got here, Aaron, let's talk about the president once again. He's in the Middle East. He's talking to these Arab leaders, and one of the things that we've been really talking about the most is China, how China is going to react to this whole thing. We got a 90-day cease in tariffs and everything else like that. Um, do you think China can be trusted? Do you think that we should be thinking, oh, they're going to be fine, that everything should be just fine? Or do you really think we should be keeping one eye on China and saying, hey, China, what should we be doing? What do you think?
I don't think they can be trusted at all. They're
Yeah.
they're not like us. They're about control and communism. We are
Mm-hmm.
not that kind of country. Like, we may buy things from them, but that's it. Like, oh yeah, let's trust. Let's trust Lenin, or let's trust Mao, or let's trust Stalin. That's a great idea. No, they're just
Yeah.
not like us.
Yeah.
So to just say, yeah, we'll just trust that you would give up your spy and control issues. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They are, and once again, and I mentioned this before that they're a communist country, and a communist country, it's they're just working on a different set of principles. They really are, and no
Hmm.
matter how many you know smiling Buddhas they have or whatever, they're just a whole different. And I know it sounds like I'm making fun. I'm not making fun of them at all. They just do not. They don't live by a set of Christian principles that we can say yes, your word is your bond, because they're not. They're saying we want a 90-day pause to work on something else, to maybe
Yeah,
get a workaround to get to where they want to go, and I don't think that we can trust them at all.
I I read a
Yeah.
story today, actually, that this was the first one to come out, and I know there's going to be more. But this
Mm.
girl was working at Stanford, I think it was,
Okay.
prestigious university. She's working in their department, like a R&D kind of department or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this man befriended her and then after a while, he got her in her pocket with however he was blackmailing her, and now she was giving him secrets of testing and things they were doing in the university, which these labs in the university do AI, whatever it is.
Sure.
And then he was reporting back to China, and they
Yeah.
found all the records. Like first they were friends and like talking, and then it became more of a controlled thing. And then they found he's talking to China, telling them all the secret things that they're doing in this lab. And I'm like, okay, it's one of the universities. These people are impressionable, easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. Um,
Oh yeah.
so yeah, trust them? No, 100% no.
No. As a matter of fact, I think America, and I want to get your feedback on just in the last minute we've got here. Do you think America should decouple with China?
I think they will fall apart if we did. So I do think they will fall apart, but I don't think we should be doing business with anybody who treats their people that way.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Sure.
I don't think I don't think we should do. I mean, what does the Bible say? What does it say about the people? It gives you instructions on how to live your life. Do we do business with these people? Okay, we're
Yeah.
in the world, but we're not of it. Like,
Sure.
yeah, what do Yeah, I do think that.
Yeah. If anything, we should probably do as much as we can to try to show them, the love of Jesus. Okay. But as far as doing business with them, I think that we saw what happens as a result of that. We rebuilt China, and now we made them one of the second richest country on the planet. And as soon as they got to where they needed to be at, they said, "Okay, we're done. We're done with you guys. Now we're going to go around you guys, and we're going to take over this world." And I think we've been shown what they're capable of doing. And I mentioned this before on a previous show. The reason why we don't allow Japan, Germany, to have a major military presence anywhere on the planet is because we learned a lesson. We learned a lesson in World War One. We learned a lesson in World War Two, that these cannot be trusted with power. And China is no different. They're no different. When they got in a position where they could really do good, right? They could actually do some great things with China. They got 1 billion people, whatever, that they did not go, hey, let's make it better for our people. They said, let's take over the world.
Yeah, God has given them over to a reprobate mind, 100%.
Yeah.
The fear and control that they have over things, they don't want to lose it. So let's go out and spread this the Silk Road program all over the world, so we can watch everybody, because we have to control everything. It is dark.
Yeah, they want to spread communism all over the world, and that's definitely not in the wheelhouse of the. That's not what Christian nations are about. We spread Jesus, but we're not spreading economic bondage to people, right? So, anyways, Aaron, I want to apologize one more time and thank you for being so patient with the technical difficulties. We'll try to get it all together again next week when we have our next week's show, okay?
Yep. All right, man.
All right, brother. We will talk to you later, okay? You have a wonderful day in the Lord, okay?
Bye now.
All right, bye-bye. And thank you, folks, for being so gracious. We've been having these technical difficulties the last couple of days. And so we hope that we're able to solve these problems and just keep, knock on wood, praise God, and hopefully we can get a sound guy that will actually work on all this stuff too, and we can solve all these problems. Anyways, we will see you again next week for This Week in Prophecy. This has been Pastor Sherman Ray. You guys have a wonderful day in the Lord. We will see you again next week. Bye-bye.